Hello, everyone. This is a private stream for my patrons, the Giant Steppers patrons. And I didn't expect many people to be live because, I don't have that many patrons on that level, but there's one. Noise Ninja. Hello. So I asked for questions to answer, and I got two. So I will answer those, and one of them actually required me to make some tap, or required me I could make some tap for you. Kiyoshi, hi Kiyoshi. So the first question that I want to answer is the question that Nicholas Berg asked me. Nicholas Berg, and he asked me, do you have any particular method of slowing, replacing a hard fast lick? For example, if one is physically unable to play the fast bossa dorado lick, do you have any way of altering that lick or licks in general to better suit your current technical level, without straying too far away from the original idea of the lick? Well, that's a good question, and I have to say no, in the sense, well, you could come up with something else, of course, but in the end, I always just practice it until I can play it. So if you're talking about this lick, right, it's from the bridge of Bossa Dorado. That lick. Actually, I made a whole video about it on my channel. It's called, I think it's called Gypsy Picking versus Alternate Picking. And I can still remember that I had a lot of trouble with that lick myself, because I know, now I find it very easy because I'm so used to playing diminished arpeggios, so it feels very natural to me. But oh yeah, maybe I can turn my microphone a little bit up. Somebody suggested that yesterday. Let me see. Maybe like this. Now it should be a little bit louder. To be successful at anything that's difficult, especially when it's fast, the best thing to do is to follow my strategy for when practicing fast licks. Hi, Nicolase. To follow my strategy for practicing fast licks. So if you watch my video called this technique exercise will bring your technique to incredible level, something like that. It's my last technique video. I talk about being very aware of a couple of things. So the first thing to be aware of is when you have double downstrokes. So in this lick, the Bossa Dorado lick, there's none, so that's easy. The second thing to be aware of is sweeps. So in this lick, here's one, and there's one. So there's only two. So I would slow down on the sweep. I would do sweep, or maybe play the whole thing slow. Sweep, but I would say it when it's happening. Sweep, 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 sweep. Because I want to train my brain and my hands to be in control of the different pick motions. The reason why you can't play it fast right now is because your hands are not synced. Right, your left hand and your right hand are not synced, and that's because your right hand, is making the wrong motion on a certain note, which messes up the whole phrase. So first thing, be aware of the double downs. Well, there's no double downs. Then be aware of the sweeps. Then maybe be aware of the upstrokes here and there. So I have sweep, up, sweep, sweep, up, sweep. And then once you've got that thing going, once you programmed your brain to say the right word at the right time and your hand makes the right movement, now it's time to work with the metronome, start slow and gradually build up speed. But not in one day, but like take a couple of days or even weeks. And I still remember sitting on the couch and being very bummed about it. I still couldn't play a diminished arpeggio at a reasonable speed. And I tried all kinds of stuff, even though I knew it's just a matter of practicing. And in the end, it's just a matter of practicing, because now it seems kind of impossible for me that I wouldn't be able to play. Right? It feels so easy, but it's just because I practiced it and trained it so much. So no, I don't simplify things in general. I would only simplify things if I think that thing that is too difficult can be substituted with something that is just as nice or just as fast. In the case of the Bossa Dorada lick, maybe that's not really possible, right? You could play some kind of chromatic, but I mean doesn't sound as nice as. Another thing you can pay attention to is when you play open position, so with a gap between your first or wide position between your first and second finger, and when you play closed. And in this lick, you start closed, but now I'm going to wide. And also practice it with the metronome, like I always do, 2 and 4, or 1 and 3, 2 and 4, only beat 2, only beat 4. Well, the start of the question, the question was, of the start of my answer was that I don't really do that. I don't really change licks. I just practice the lick I have to practice until I can play it, and that can take many moons. But watch my video on technique exercises and also the timing video for the metronome exercise, and I'm sure you can get it. Just don't give up and keep practicing. Okay, then the second question, which will lead me to the taps. So the second question was asked by Mark Tachana, who I actually met in Taiwan because he was there. And he asks me, "Hi Christian, I wonder how you approach playing the intro ending to songs you learn. I know most songs have a typical intro played by Django, but what if you want to come up with your own one?" Well, if you want to come up with your own one, you should come up with your own one. But what I can do for you is give you some intros and outros I like to play. Some of them are by Django, some are Stocholo, some are by other guitar players. But I've gathered 4 intros and 5 outros with a tap, as usual. These steps will only be available for all of you. So after the stream, I will put them up, and I will make sure they can only be accessed by my... Oh, something happens. What happened here? My giant steppers. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, so I have 4 intros, 4 outros, and I kind of arranged them by, I don't know, maybe easy to difficult. No, not really, but just things that are very handy. And they all last more than 4 bars probably, so I cannot show you everything at once. But of course, you can download the tab after the stream. But let me play this first one for you so you can hear how it sounds. So this one is in G. They're mostly in G, but there are some other keys for the outros. So this one sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Right, so the second half starts the same as the first 4 bars, but now you have this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I will go into a song so you can hear what it sounds like if I go into a song. So I will go into "I Can Give You Anything But Love," right? Okay, so you're gonna play the song in a jam, and you say, "Oh, I have an intro. Wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4." If I'm playing with people that are very well versed in the style, I would not even say like it's 8 bars. I would just play the intro and they would know. But if I'm not sure, I will say this is an 8-bar intro, and I would actually count. I would 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-bar intro. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can give you. Yeah, like that. Something else I want to say about this. Well, you could be a little bit free with the intros, right? You could be with the rhythms. Right, you can be a little bit free with it. I think nothing else to say about this. No. Let's go to the next one. This is one I learned from Stochelo, and so the chord symbols. First, let me play it so you know how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so it has this thing, 2, and then the same thing 2 frets lower. Now the first phrasing is a bit awkward to play. Right, so it's 9, 7, 10, 10. So you're muting the D string. And I've written in the tab D7 with it should just be D with the F sharp in the bass. I will correct that. And I wrote that because that is basically what this chord shape is, but actually it's functioning here as B minor 7. Right? What you hear is actually this B minor, E7, A minor, D7, and then the same. And then you get this bass loop, bass lick. But this voicing makes it more special. And this voicing for E7 is basically E octatonic, right, where you would play the half note whole tone scale on it. So that's just repeated. So this is actually B minor, E7, and then same A minor. So and those last 2 bars, you can see them here. You can interchange these last 2 bars with the last 2 bars of the first intro, right? So if I would play the first intro with these last 2 bars, it would go. I think then you have the easiest version. Or I could play this intro with. Sorry, it's not really good in the screen, sorry. I could play the first, this intro, starting with this D with the F sharp in the bass, and then play this ending. Thank you, Nicholas, for that you liked the intro. I have to thank Stochelo, because he's the one who showed that to me. Of course, he can make the tabs, but let's go to the next one. This is I wanted to include this one because this is like the standard intro that you should know when you want to introduce a fast song. Right? These first 2 you can use them for fast songs, right? Maybe you play like Hungarian, but Hungarian has its own intro, of course. But let's say you don't want to play that intro, so then you want to play 1, 2, Well, it's kind of weird, right? That intro doesn't really work in that tempo. So, but for a fast intro, you can use this intro that Django played for, I think it was You're Driving Me Crazy. And then he played this intro, and You're Driving Crazy is in C, so that would be then. I wrote chord diagrams because it's just rhythm. Let me play it slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it starts, right? But there's some variations, but the most basic version would just be to play these chords. And then there we start, right? Let's say we're going to what's a fast song in G? Or High the Moon or something. Doesn't really work with How High the Moon because How High the Moon the melody starts before the bar. So let's say it's just Hungarian. Right? Now, there's a couple of nice things you can do. One thing you could do is, I'll do it slowly. So in the fourth bar you play D7, and then on the second beat you play a triplet from C7 to D7, and then you have beat 3, beat 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, down, up, down, up, down. That's one thing you could do. When it's really fast, it's very difficult to, especially to play very clean. So you just move, you slide your hand up, and you make sure you play a triplet with the right hand, and then that you end down on the E flat like this. Now let's do it really fast. That's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is what Django does in You're Driving Me Crazy. He plays D and on the first beat, and then so he plays quarter note 2/8, dub, da, da, D, dub, 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's easy to play. That's also something you could do, but the coolest one is of course with a slide. And this one works especially nice when you play higher on the neck, like so for example in B flat. Like when you would play Sheik of Araby. 1, 2. So now I would say 4 bars intro. 1, 2, 3. Da da dee. And you could even extend this to 6 bars by repeating the first 2 bars like this. Is that 6 bars? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's still 4. Yeah, but what you could do so then is still 4. In the second bar, you could on beat 3, you could shift. Let's go back to G. You could shift back to F sharp and then up. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, shift. That's the way Stochler would play it. Yeah. Let's go to the next intro. This is the intro that that Django plays before Dinah, and I really like that intro. Sorry. Slowly. So that's C with E in the bass. It can be a little bit tricky to play. Like this slowly. You could just, of course, just play a normal C, like C6. Let me see how it says. Yeah, why not? Or A minor even. Yeah, A minor works great too. The reason that this is tricky to play, actually, Django plays it like this. With open strings. Which makes it a little bit easier, but then of course you can only play it in G, and I want to be able to play it, I know, in A. So if I play it in A, I have to start on B7, like this. For Django's Tiger, for instance, would be a great intro. Let me try it again. Great intro, and this works in different tempos. You can play it like really medium. Or you can play it fast. Pretty nice. If you have questions about it, just ask me. I think now there's only one person online, but doesn't matter. You can all watch it later. Okay. So now we have 5 outros. So this is the standard outro, the one that you should know. I mean, the nicest outros are usually for slower tunes, right? So all the others, the 4 that I have left, are for ballads. But if it's a fast tune, this is the standard outro that you can play. Oh, there's 2 actually. There's one more later. But so let's say we're in G. So you have 2, 5, and then you want to end it. That's usually what I do, especially when you're a rhythm player. That's the way to do it. So let's say we have a song. Maybe we have I Can Give You Anything But Love. So the end of I Can Give Anything But Love is, let me see. Two, 5. Right, these harmonics. Of course, you can only play that in G. So if you want to play this in A, I would just repeat the chord, or play in other A, like, or something. Doesn't matter what you want to do. But in G, you can play these harmonics. Let's do another song and end like this. Let's do Hungaria. So second half. Two, 5. Standard outro that you have to know. Okay, this is a nice outro for ballad, and this ballad would then end in E minor. So then you get this. So E minor with a G in the bass, A minor 6, C7 with a B flat in the bass, or actually it's not really that. It's B flat double diminished, but it doesn't matter. And if you're not playing E minor, of course you don't have the open string. Let's say you're in G minor. So then you start here. Then you just play the high 4 notes like this. And you leave the bass note for the bass player. So you would play this after the 2-5. So let's say we have a song in G minor. I can't think of one now, but let's say it ends like C minor, G minor, and then we have 2-5, and we slow down, and then you start your outro. And don't play it too slow, right? Because you already slowed. I was playing it too slow because you were already slowed down before. That's why I wrote down as 16th notes, because you want to play. And you can slow down there. Let's play one more in E minor because it's so nice in E minor. So let's say we have a song that goes like E minor, A minor. Don't play that chord. That's the wrong chord. Okay. Outro number 3. This would be an outro for a major tune. Maybe like a swing tune where you slow down at the end. Maybe you've been playing... what's the tune in G? Maybe you've been playing Sweet Sue. Let's go to the bridge. Nah, that doesn't. This intro doesn't fit with Sweet Sue, because in that tempo you have to just play. That's it's more of a ballad actually. So I don't know a ballad in G now, but let's say we end like there's like G, there's like C. And you slow down, and there we go, and then you can play your outro. No. It's super nice. And you can play them like this, right? But I'm breaking all the chords. But you could also play. Or any other variation, like. And with this chord is super nice because this G diminished. But you can also play this chord. It's not in the tab, but I just thought of it now. It's really a Sinatra ending for ballad to G. 6. So this is, my thumb is playing the 3rd fret on the E string. Then on the D string it's 5. And then it's 4, 4, 2. It's not very comfortable to play. And you resolve it to G. So this chord is a G major 7 sharp 5. And that chord just resolves very nicely to a G6. So then you would get... Sorry. Okay, that was out number 3. 2 more. So, outro number 4. Oh, this is actually for a swing tune, and it's in D. This is something you cannot just do in a jam session. If you want to do this is more for when you have your band and you rehearse, because this intro is very long. What you can do is you can play the last 2 bars. So let me first start there. You can play the last 2 bars. So let's say you've been playing Daphne. That's the last 2 bars. Or actually, here there's a harmonic. Let's see. No, which ones? 7th fret, right? Yeah. So that would be if you are jamming and you don't want to play the regular ending, you can play the last 2 bars. And the way you play that, you start up, you end down. And this chord, I play it like this, but some people play it like this, or most people play it like this. And then they flatten the pinky, but I can't bend that way. So I play it like this. Like I play 1, so first finger, 2nd finger, 1st finger, 3, 3. That's actually the way Django played it too. Because that's the only way he could play it, right? And if it's really fast, just time your hand movements to kind of end in sync. So you start up, and you end down, and make sure that you start here and end there. So you start with the dominant chord, A7, and you end on the one chord, but then as a dominant, D7. So let me do it again. Let's do it for Coquette. Bridge. Da, 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 da. Third A. Sorry. Here we go. 2, 5. Or. Now, if you can rehearse a little bit, and you can say, "Listen, guys, I don't want to play a 2-bar outro. I want to play a 4-bar outro." So then we get 2, 5. It's super cool to play that. It's the same voicing all the time. So you just slide from C sharp to D, then from B to C, and you play a kind of a weird thing, B flat B A. But it really works. And it works in more keys, of course. You can play the C. Or in D, in G. Then you play maybe Hungaria. Okay, but if you do this in a jam session, that's a jam killer because nobody will be able to follow. Nobody knows what's happening, and then the tune will end in chaos. That's never nice. But if you can make it happen, maybe you could jam and say, "Listen, guys, I'm playing a 4-bar outro," but then people won't remember it. So, and then I have one more, right? Yes. So this one is a more modern one, and it's an F this time because in G it's very high. You can play it in G, but in F it's easier to practice. So that's why I wrote it down in F. So it's for a ballad. So you get you have a ballad in F. 2, 5, and then you play. Oh, sorry. So one more time. It's tricky to play, so you get B half diminished. And any way you want, you can break the chord, or you could play, or. This is a B flat minor 11, D minor 11 with the A in the bass, A flat 7. Pretty uncomfortable to play this. If you can't play it, you can just play the top 4 note. Right, you get and then G minor, and then F sharp minor major 7, and then this F sharp 11. This chord is pretty tricky to play because you have to play 3 strings with your with your middle finger. And then if you would have a bass player, you would tell the bass player to just play chromatically down, but B, B flat, A, F flat, G, F sharp, F. So. Yeah. This chord is also difficult to play. Now if you play it in So the trick to remember is you always start a half step below the dominant chord with the half diminished chord. Then it's just chromatically down. If you play in G, if you play better than G, like nuage, that's 4 bars, and 2, 5. So it's D7. So you start C sharp half diminished. It's possible, but it's tricky. I'm almost want to say it works best in F and only F. Because if you play, let's say you play in E flat, is it possible in E flat? Let me see. So then you would start A half diminished. It's definitely possible. But then this chord becomes very... It's doable, but probably not for most people. But it's very pretty. And so actually now I'm thinking of this comes into principle. What you can do is you can always, if you find this very beautiful but it's too difficult, but you want to have another way, you can just use this principle, right? So let's say we're back in the key of G. So you have A, 2 at the end of the song, 2, 5. So D7, you go to C sharp half diminished, and then you go chromatically down with minor chords. So C minor, B minor, B flat minor, and then 2, 5. And you can play. Right, you can play. You can actually mix all this stuff together, and you can use any crazy voicing for minor you want for this trick, right? That was the intros to outros. There's one more intro that maybe you should know. I don't have tab for it because that actually only works for Sweet Richard Brown, but it's the famous Django intro. It says that's a nice one to know. So you start on a B, and then you bend the F up to F sharp. How many bars you played? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you play 1 bar of 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a quarter note, and a quarter note, 3 note, 3 beat bend from F to F sharp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually 8 notes. And then again. But then you bend the E up to F. And you bend back and you play E flat, F, E. And then it's Richard Brown, so. I don't think it works on any other song. I mean, you can play this stuff on... is there a song that starts in E minor? Yeah, for instance, Anniversary song starts on E7, right? Does it work on that song? Let me see. Yeah, it kind of works. Maybe you can play it on any song that starts on a dominant chord. So maybe Sweet Sue starts on D7, right? So then you would play it. Yeah, it works too. Yeah, so any song that starts on a dominant chord, you can use it. So now that opens up a lot of possibilities. Which other song starts on a dominant chord? Limehouse Blues. Maybe it's a little bit too fast for it. So, but then you would have to play. Yeah, works too, huh? Okay, so that's another super cool intro. Yeah, that was it for this private stream. I see there's only one person online, but it doesn't matter. Nicholas, thank you for watching. If you're still watching, I'm not sure you're still watching. Maybe you've just got it running in the background. But you can always go back if you want to watch it again, or if you watch it in the future. Thank you so much for being my patron at this highest level, and I hope you enjoy these Outtros intros. I will upload them right now or in 10 minutes, and then I hope you enjoy it. This video will be up on my YouTube channel. It will just be unlisted, so you need to click the link in the message thread on Patreon, or just on the new Patreon post which I will make, which will only be visible to you, all of you. Enjoy your day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye.